بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم ولعن أعداءهم أجمعين. Yesterday, some important points were raised regarding parenting. Respected fathers and mothers, our children are not ours. Our children are our responsibility, not our property, for us to do what we like with them. A child is an amanat from Allah. Allah has entrusted these children to us, and we must follow His orders in relation to how we bring them up. Today, we will be focusing on the duties of a mother. But fathers must listen too, because they have to support the mother in her duties. And we will speak about this in the coming days. We have a very short time, and it's impossible for me to explain everything in this short time. But I will try to help us get a very rough idea as to how broad a mother's duties are. As mentioned yesterday, it's our responsibility to learn about our duties, to find out what they are and how to perform them properly. Every mother should know that she's not replaceable and she cannot be substituted. A father cannot do the duties of a mother. Neither can an aunt or a grandmother. And neither can a babysitter or a nursery or iPad or anything else. There have been many studies performed by psychologists in this area proving this, which have been mentioned in these Majales before. Therefore, a mother should not say, I will spend my time on teaching in religious classes and Imam Zaman will look after my child instead of me. A mother is a guarantor for her child's correct upbringing and well-being. She guarantees it will happen. This means that she cannot blame somebody else if her child is brought up incorrectly. She shouldn't say something like, oh, it's not my fault. I took my child to the Islamic school every Saturday. It's their fault that they're not brought up correctly. No, the mother will be answerable to God. A mother should know what feminism is and be sure that it has not affected her way of thinking. Feminism is a toxic ideology that was introduced in the past 100 or 200 years that states that a woman is equal to a man. Which of our Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam have told us that a woman is equal to a man? When have the Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam ever said to a lady, you should aim to be like Malika Ashtar, or you should aim to be like Salman? In fact, there are many examples in Islam where women even have higher positions than men or have more rights than men. God has, and we don't have time to cover those right now, God has created men and women differently to do different purposes. The family structure is something that God has created to ensure that our children have the best possible chance to develop into the best beings that they can be. And feminism only weakens and destroys that structure. A mother should believe in and wholeheartedly do her motherly duties. She should wholeheartedly accept her motherhood. This means that performing her duties should be a joy to her, and she should take pride in seeing her child flourish. It should not be a chore that she has to finish or find some way around so that she can get back to Instagram or hanging out with her friends or whatever else. As-sa'idu سعيد في بطن أمه والشقي شقي في بطن أمه. A good person is good in their mother's womb, belly, and a bad person is bad in their mother's belly. Alaykum assalam. A mother's responsibility towards their child begins from when the baby is in the womb. This responsibility does not end when the child has grown up. It lasts as long as the mother is alive and physically capable, but the nature of the responsibility, the way it's done, changes based on the child's age. Imam Ali alayhi salam says that the heart of a child is like an empty field on which nothing has grown yet, and that whatever seeds you sow there will be accepted, they will grow. So as mothers, you should be the first one to sow the seeds in your child's heart. Don't allow the iPhone or YouTube or television or nursery or school or even your child's friends to beat you to it. Many mothers complain that they don't get enough time to do all the things they need to do. Our Holy Prophet says, أعظم الناس قدرا من ترك ما لا يعني. The most valuable person is the one who puts aside that which does not concern them. I'm sure that all of us can find something in our lives that's taking up a lot of our time and is unnecessary that we can afford to put aside. For example, it could be our phones or our social media. A mother should know that her emotions and her mental state directly affects the child starting from day one of the pregnancy. If she has internal conflicts or negative emotions, she needs to put those aside for the sake of her child. Unfortunately, studies have shown that many children these days are showing signs of mental disorders. For example, depression, anxiety, fear, stress, worry, antisocial or unsocial behavior, jealousy, and self-centeredness. And there are many more to name. A child should be receiving positive energy from their mother and qualities resulting in self-confidence, bravery, a sense of responsibility, a can-do attitude, patience, humility, and of course many other qualities too. A mother should willingly put aside her own desires and aspirations in order to fulfill her child's needs, and it should never be the case that she ignores her child's needs in order to fulfill her own desires. A mother needs to teach their child what they need to know according to their age. This includes behavior and manners, religion and religious matters, general knowledge and subject-specific knowledge, and ensuring that their children have practiced the skills necessary for their age. A parent, and this applies to fathers too, should play with their child in a way that if their child was to be asked, who do you want to play with? Do you want to play with your parent or your friend? That their child would turn around and say, I want to play with my parent. What does this mean? It means we should play with them in an engaging way, in a wholehearted way, and also in a way that the child does not get discouraged or lose their self-confidence by thinking that they're no good at the game. So we should let the child win, but at the same time, they should understand that they can't always win. We should teach them so that they're ready for the challenges of life and they don't get upset or give up by losing once. Now, being a mother is only a difficult task for someone who doesn't know how or doesn't want to know how. Motherhood is a precise job. It's like being a surgeon or a computer programmer. If you don't know the job, you're going to hurt the patient or you're going to make a system that doesn't work. But when you know the job, then it's straightforward and rewarding. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah has not burdened anyone with a weight that they are not able to carry. Now, the intention of this discussion is not for people to decide that they don't want to have children or it's too difficult, but it's a reminder of what we should be aiming to achieve. There may be respected mothers in the audience hearing this who may feel upset. They may feel like they've not done their duties correctly until now. As mentioned earlier, mothers need to be careful of what they feel and the energy they give off, because that radiates to their children. It's not so much about what we've done so far, but it's about how we decide to live the rest of our lives. And we only need to look at Hur for proof of that. These mothers should know that whenever we make a decision to change, that decision opens the way to reach a new place in heaven and for progress to be made. As I mentioned at the beginning, there are many points to be discussed and not enough time to cover them all or explain them all. Anyone who has questions regarding this topic can ask, or they can approach a psychologist or our learned and respected ulama. Imam Sajjad alayhi salam has said, "The right of your mother is for you to know and believe that she carried you in a way that no one would ever carry anyone. And she fed you from the fruit of her heart in a way that nobody would ever feed anyone. And she protected you with her eyes, with her ears, with her hands, with her feet, with her hair, with her skin, and with her entire existence." Meaning her entire existence was to protect you. And in what manner did she do this? مستبشرة بذلك فرحة موابلة. She did this with joy and happiness. She did it with complete contentment and free will. She did it with love, pleasure, and satisfaction, and with her entire existence. This type of mother is al-jannatu tahta aqdami ummiha. The mother who does all of her duties with love and contentment, who says to Allah with a smile, "Awafait, aradit, did I do my duties properly?" I want to tell you the stories of two babies who were taken away from their mothers. When Imam Zaman was born, his father Imam Askari and his mother Narjas Khatun, they wrapped him in a blanket. And Imam Askari was holding him in his arms. Suddenly, a white dove appeared, a kabutar. And it took the wrapped baby and it flew up to the sky. His mother got worried. She said to her husband, "Oh my dear, what happened? What was this? Where did they take him?" She had tears in her eyes. The Imam said, "Don't worry, This was Jibreel Amin. The heavens wanted to see the baby. They took him up there so they could see him, do ziyarat of him, and bring him back. And the other baby you know very well, our lonely master Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Bibi Fatima was busy doing the housework and she suddenly saw her Hussein was missing. She cried out, "Oh my father Rasulullah, where did my Hussein go?" Again, Jibreel came down. He said, "Oh Rasulullah, tell your Fatima not to worry. The people of heaven wanted to see him." It's the end of my speech now. Do you know what I want to say? I spoke about 2 pure mothers and their 2 babies that were taken from them. These mothers' hearts were turned upside down when their babies were taken from them. Their babies were missing and they became very worried. But then they were given reassurance. The babies were brought back to them and they were able to hold their baby and be happy again. May we be sacrificed for the pure mother of Karbala. She keeps walking up and down the tent, every few minutes pushing the curtain aside, eager to see her beautiful Ali Asghar returning. She keeps folding and unfolding the blanket, adjusting it, getting it nice and ready for him to come back, so she can wrap him in it to sleep. She says to herself, they're going to give him a bit of water. His father will bring him back now, and then he'll be able to sleep peacefully. But soon after, she notices that there are some strange noises coming from behind the tent. She goes to look, and she sees his father Hussein is digging a small grave. Her face changes color. "Oh my dear Master Hussein, wait, let me see my Ali one more time." "آقا جان چرا در خون نشسته نوگل من آخ عجب سیراب گشته بلبل من بلبل من بلبل من." إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون.